Your radio on urbannationradio.com. That's urbannationradio.com and /live. You tuning in live with us. It's episode 40. Radio Reloaded. It's Mindful B.
Kojo Lee.
Info Keith.
And the powerful general himself, Sara Suten Seti.
Black Power.
There it is. And there you have it. And so we got, of course, have a jam-packed episode for you after taking this hiatus and bringing back Radio Reloaded. Topic of today is, what is a revolution? And what is a revolutionary state of mind, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about various versions, everybody's perspective of what that means. So we invite you to join that conversation as well on our Facebook page. Watch Facebook event, Watch Radio Live, and vote. What do you think it is? So we're going to have a lot going on. I'm going to pass it to Kojo to do a full introduction of our special guest. This is a powerful episode.
Yeah, I'll start with a short bio, and then we can kind of get into what the gist of the show is going to be more about. Sara Suten Seti, the general, is a second-generation student and a disciple of Grandmaster Teacher and High Priest of OMS, Dr. Ben, for those who are familiar with him. For those who aren't, Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakinaten, and he is a great scholar, library who recently passed on to the ancestors, and he laid the foundation for a lot of interest into the Nile River Valley civilization and understanding of what was hidden. And so Seti has 20 years of literary studies with 3 educational tours to Kemet with Asha Kwesi,
yes,
and 1 educational tour to Mexico in the land of the Olmecs. Seti takes his place on the front lines of struggle for complete liberation of African people worldwide. The explosive guerrilla documentary, The Rise of Seti, highlights the Judaism, Christianity, and Islam's stole out of Africa to create all 3 religions, the African origins of ancient Egypt, and many, many unknown facts about the history of ancient Africa. And we have a couple links for you can see him at his actual. He has a lecture where he's talking about the Masonic Kemetic worship you can find in the Muslim leadership that we have in our ad as well. So you can find our ads in a few places online. Of course, the Readyo Radio web page is where you want Facebook page where you want to check it out. But again, this episode, we're really looking into some of the realness of revolution, and also again understanding what does that word mean to each individual. We're talking about the economic state, because a lot of people are so conditioned to going to ATM, going to the gas station, and when things are in the middle of a martial law and different things like that, the way you look at life has to be adjusted. So we're gonna go more into that. We'll also talk about how to share information so that your enemy doesn't find out what you're doing. That's a big part of what I feel like right now we're not really doing as a people. We're not really getting these small huddles and creating a new thing without those who are trying to destroy what we're creating listening and watching what we're doing, which is kind of foolish. We're gonna have also ask some other questions, some difficult questions, just to kind of rhetorical for you to consider. You got 2 gallons of water, you got a family of 5, and you're in the middle of a revolution, so it's not you can go to Myers and buy water. So we're gonna go into some rhetorical situations and just understand some of the depths of what a revolution really entails. So that's what this show's about, and so why not have a general come and talk about warfare?
Ooh. Okay. Where we going with it? Is we dealing with revolution? Revolution is complete and total change. You're not leaving nothing. You know what I'm saying? You burning everything. That's what revolution is, And most revolutions are bloody. You know, we hear, you know, like cultural revolutions, but the one we need is a complete change. You know, the society never wanted us, and so no part of the society is good for us. So we have to change it all. We have to find a new way of doing things, and that's revolution. And when you get ready to do this, people are going to step up to stop us. They have always done this. So it's going to cause us to protect ourselves and go on the offense in many cases. So it requires us to go to war, physical war. And most people are in fear of that because they don't see a victory. But with brothers and sisters like you all who have the information, once you give it to them, you know, they'll become more encouraged, you know, to step up and fight this revolution.
Hmm. Absolutely. A big part of revolution, from my perspective, is looking at the word, you know, evolve, and then put the prefix re in front of it. So we're re-evolving, which again, when something evolves, it ain't the same no more. It's changed around, and you have to go through it over and over again. So you know, this evolution or revolution is going to lead in the future for other things to take place. But the importance of it is to understand that it's a continual process, and we have to use we have to use what we have in the sense of information. So we have to share information with one another, because if our neighbors don't know what's harming them and we know what's harming them, it's our as a person who's looking to change things, it's our job to go and inform them so that they can go and inform the next person. Because I was watching one of your videos, you were talking about how, you know, in the current state of being, there's a lot of people who want to do something, but when you go out to do something, you can't do everything.
That's right.
I can't do it all. So how can I realize that I need other people and then not try to get other people to do it? And so then I become the issue. So we have to look at, again, the internal work that has to be done in order for the revolution to occur.
That's
because if all you do is keep pointing at everybody else and screaming and shouting, that ain't nothing.
That's right.
You just stagnant.
Most definitely. And there's something to be said about the man on the wall, the watchman on the wall, that sees something happening and doesn't let people know about it, and the blood is on his hands. So you've been justified.
Yeah, in my opinion, why this episode is important, we want to kind of bring it home and actually really look at revolution, because a lot of people just think about revolution as something that you see on TV where everybody, you know, bands together and they run in and, you know, maybe overthrow the government or something. But you got to look at, you know, if that does happen, something like a revolution situation does happen, where would you get water from? Where would you get food from? Because it won't be any stores. Most people don't carry cash, and even if you do carry cash, it will be obsolete in a revolution.
That's right.
So you need real tangible items, you know, such as gold, silver, and even cigarettes, alcohol, anything that you can trade and barter.
Yeah, barter.
Right, and you need those skills to be able to barter, and you need to know the value of different things in revolution. So that's kind of what we want to look at. And also, too, you got to look at, like, I guess the dark side, because, you know, the average household only has 3 days worth of food. So if you're in a revolution type situation,
3 days.
yeah, where would you get food from? And even just if you look at the Great Depression, for example, squirrels almost went extinct because people were eating squirrels to try to survive. So we got to look at that. Yeah, that's stuff that we got to prepare for and be ready for. You won't be able to call the police. It won't be any phones. It won't be any lights, any running water, any of that kind of stuff. So we got to make preparations now for that type of situation.
Which I think goes right on, before we take this commercial break, goes right into what I was saying about a revolution is a continual process. So today, what am I doing? And how did that, you know, I have a garden in front of my house now. So now I don't need to worry about, you know, what happens when, or I got stuff canned in the basement. And then the next day I went and bought me a gas mask or whatever. Now I'm ready for when it really does, if it does, and when it does pop off, I'm already ready. Versus the revolution happens before what most people might call the revolution. What I'm trying to say, it's what you're
Exactly.
doing. It's what you're doing in that time frame before it occurs.
And another thing too is skills that you need to have, because skills are most important over items. Because if you have the skills, then you can go out especially in the city where it's an abundance of things, more so than in the country. You can create different things if you have the skills, but if you only have items, those items run out. And then when you go into the city, you won't be able to create what you need to create out of the resources that you have around you. So
That's wisdom.
you need to have skills, and we'll discuss some skills that you should build and team building type of things that you should know about.
Yeah, and one thing before we go to break, I think we may have taken for granted that everybody had seen the show before. So I think that before we get into the deeper stuff, we should definitely give maybe a little overview of Readyo Radio for the people tuning in for the first time. So we'll try to put that in there sometime in this show, just so you all know. And with that said, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. This is Readyo Radio. Go on the Facebook event page, watch Readyo Radio live, and vote. Listen to this powerful music that we play.